Pizza and Grill, Coldstone Creamery, and Magic City Tickets. Ready for this one to get underway, Mike Walker? This game in Delaware State today? And that's what they need to do today. The goal line has been pretty far away from the Delaware State Hornets over the last few games. They haven't been able to put up many points. They are going to have to score a lot today against this Merrimack team, as they're a high-powered offense, and they bring a lot along the line. They're averaging 32 points per game in their move up from Division II to Division I this season.
The Delaware State
now, Merrimack will allow you some yardage. They're averaging defensively, allowing 321 yards per game, and they're vulnerable on the ground, over 1,200 on the ground against Merrimack, with just under 200 by pass. So a chance here for Delaware State to get that offense going, and we saw last week against Morgan State, Richard Harris.
Focus on getting first downs and taking time off the clock. You know, the speed offense, the no huddle, the rapid play hasn't necessarily benefited Delaware State University up until this point in the season. So, you know, it looks like they're going to go in a new direction. Or Richard Harris is definitely going to get more touches. So when you start to run the ball, you're really taking a whole lot of time off the clock. That could benefit Delaware State University facing a very explosive offense in Merrimack.
Richard Harris, with his performance last week against Morgan, has become the team's leading rusher on the season. Meanwhile, Kawana Kali, one of the top receivers in the MEAC, 5th in the league in receptions.
And he hasn't been targeted enough, if you ask me. This is one of these guys, if you get him the ball in space, he can make some things happen. And in order for them to get him the ball, the offensive line has to allow Tyleek Bethea an opportunity to look downfield and find him. So I know they're going to shorten up these routes in the offensive attack. But at some point, again, they're going to have to provide him some protection in the pocket so he can look downfield.
If you look at this Delaware State team on tape, you'll figure out they've been primarily a passing team this season. So maybe they have to flip that a little bit and go more with the ground game against a team that seems to allow a lot of yardage.
I mean, they're going to take it however they get it at this point, because the offense recognizes that they've been underperforming. You know, and it's tough to go into these meetings knowing that, you know, your side of the ball isn't living up to its expectations. We thought there was going to be a very explosive offense based on what we saw in Game 1 at UD, but it just hasn't really materialized to this point in the season. So, again, Coach Milstead and all the coaches are looking at this game as the first game of the season. What happened in the past is the past. Only thing they can focus on are the remaining games.
Merrimack, which will become a member of the Northeast Conference in this transition from Division II to Division I, 2 and 4 on the season, with opening week win over Virginia Lynchburg, and then on September 21st they defeated Mayville State. Since then, losses to Northeast Conference opponents, Central Connecticut, St. Francis, out of the Patriot League, Lehigh, and a loss last week to Bryant. Delaware State gets St. Francis later in the season, the final week. The St. Francis team will be coming in here, and the Hornets trying to avenge a loss out there in Loretto, Pennsylvania, in a driving rainstorm early last season.
Again, you know, if you were in a boxing match, the only thing that you would be focused on, Gary, is the next round. Because, you know, at the end of the day, that's what you have to face, the next round. So I know they know what faces them after this game, but right now, this is a team in transition, and they have to literally look at this as a boxing match. The only thing that should matter, and the only thing that does matter at this point, is the team that they're facing.
Hornets, Delaware State, with 5 games remaining after today, 4 of them within the MEAC, where Merrimack will have 4 games after today against Presbyterian, Rhode Island, Franklin Pierce, and at Long Island University. Merrimack will kick off to Delaware State. They're in the white jerseys with the dark blue pants, dark blue helmets. Delaware State wearing the traditional home uniform, all red, white numerals, and the red helmets. Merrimack moving from our right to our left. That is a westward direction here in Dover, Delaware. Corey Resendez set to kick off for Merrimack here. 60 degrees at game time. Feels like 68. Bright, sunny sky and very warm. The winds out of the east, just a light breeze at 4 miles per hour. So good weather for football here today. And this kick will go all the way to the Hornets' 2-yard line and be taken there and right up the middle of the field. A little bit of a hole. Take it to the outside and now work down to the 23-yard line on the kick return for Delaware State. It looked like
Karan Aline.
Yep. Karan Aline, who has had a couple of kickoffs now for the Hornets on this season, a couple of kickoff returns as they put him at the deep man on that. 6 kickoff returns on the season coming into today for Aline, averaging 20 yards per return for kickoff. So that can set you up with good field position. He got his average right there. He took it at the 2 and brought it out to the 23. And the Hornets will take it right up the middle, and they're going to go with the workhorse from last week, Richard Harris, who bangs his way out to the Delaware State 30-yard line. That's a nice opener of 7 yards.
Yeah, and that's a good confidence builder for the offensive line. You know, they want to dictate their will against this smaller defensive line that they're going to face in today's game.
Tyleek Bethea sets up in the shotgun, standing at his 25-yard line on the near side hash mark. Bethea hands it off. And it'll be Harris again around the right side. Looks like he'll have the first down. They're going to mark his forward progress up to the 36-yard line, and the Hornets move the ball first down.
I would expect them to continuously bang with Richard Harris and maybe, look at that short pass game, because right now they seem to be dominating the offensive line of scrimmage. And, they just want to keep pounding and taking some football out of Merrimack's D.
Took it up the middle on first down, around the right side on second down. They work from the gun again. Receivers split out wide on each side. They give it to Harris. He tests the middle. Merrimack stacks it up. Harris gets out to around the 38-yard line. Short gain. And it will be second down and about 8.
Nothing clean up front for Harris on that particular play, Gary. He was just trying to see, what seam might potentially open. Just kept his legs grinding and picked up as many yards as he could on that play.
Richard Harris for Delaware State, listed on the roster as 6 foot, 215 pounds. Plays bigger. And they'll stay on the ground. Harris takes it around the right side, outside of right tackle, works up close to midfield, and he'll have another Hornet first down as they'll mark him down at the 49-yard line.
Right now, the offensive line for Delaware State University is winning the battle of the trenches. They're allowing Richard Harris to kind of get a good look at a variety of different lanes he might be able to, run up in. And that time he saw the outside, and he took it.
Hornets have tended to be a right-handed team. They don't work as much to the left side when they're running the ball, and we've seen that now. 2 runs up the middle, 2 runs up the right side, and they'll go up the middle again. Harris diving into the middle, takes it across midfield to the Merrimack 49-yard line, pick up again of 2.
Right now it's been Harris left, Harris right, Harris up the middle, and they're going to send him to the sideline and give him a blow and bring a couple of replacements in. But I would suspect that, they're still going to go with the short run game or, maybe a short pass at this point.
Bryant Dallas checks into the backfield for Delaware State now. They say stay with the same formation now. Dallas shifts left side of the quarterback. Give it to Dallas. They sweep right side, penalty marker on the field. Dallas dances down the sideline, and we'll see if where they mark him out of bounds or if they got good progress down to the 33 of Merrimack, but it's going to come back.
Well, they're clapping on Delaware State side of the ball, so, that would indicate that maybe it's going to go against Merrimack.
in which case the Hornets may decline this penalty, and they will. They'll decline the penalty, take the yardage. It'll be first down Hornets at the Merrimack 33-yard line.
Again, offensive line, Gary, doing a good job of sustaining their blocks and allowing the running backs to kind of work off of, the angles that they're providing them and finding those open lanes and the wide flanks, and they're just picking up yards in chunks.
Talik Bethea has yet to go to the air this game, and they run right side. Big hole around the side, down to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Delaware State. Brian Dallas with a 33-yard touchdown run.
And they made it look so easy on the opening drive, Gary, and that's a huge confidence builder for Delaware State University, who struggled offensively in the latter part of the season.
A 77-yard drive for the Hornets that started at their 23, and everything clicked for them. Helped out a good bit by that penalty, but even without that penalty, Bryant Dallas's run to take them to the 33, and then he finished it off. He got 49 yards on 2 carries. The extra point kick by Jose Romo Martinez is up, and it is good. An early break in the action here as Delaware State takes the lead at home in a game they really need to go out and win here today. And we'll take time out on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Popular Flo's Filet and the limited time 14-ounce Delmonico. That's how steak is done. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
Delaware State set to kick off after that 77-yard drive. They'll put the ball in play here, kicking off from their own 35-yard line. And the kickoff specialist has become Jake Burdell. They're using 2 place kickers, one for field goals and extra points, and Burdell is kicking off. And that's why, because he kicks it deeper to the end zone and a touchback.
Got a strong leg, and he's only going to strengthen his leg as his career goes on here at Delaware State University. So expect a whole lot of touchbacks when this kid kicks off.
Burdell also is a freshman, and they're looking to the future and saying, well, we've got the opportunity here, and he's doing a good job kicking off. Let's work him. Let's get him some game experience and let him get the feel of it on those kickoffs and go with the guy who we've had as the place kicker for the field goals and extra points. Here comes Merrimack, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Christian Carter, their sophomore quarterback, one of the captains of the squad. He stands in the shotgun at his 20-yard line, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He'll hand it off on first down and some contact in the backfield. The running back manages to get forward and pick up 2 yards out to the 27-yard line. Jamari Venter, the ball carrier. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Merrimack.
Alex Lozano and Leaky Sue in on the tackle on that play for Delaware State.
And Leaky Sue has been more dominant inside the last couple of weeks for Delaware State.
He had to grow into that position. You're talking about a guy who played on the offensive line last year. Now he's on the defensive line.
Carter hands off on 2nd down. A bit of a hole, but it gets closed up quickly there as wrapping up right inside. The linebacker, Brandon Carswell, or actually defensive lineman Carswell, a gain of 3 up to the 30-yard line.
Carswell, the graduate student, the transfer from Savannah State. He came up here at Delaware State University and lost the game, and he was impressed with the program. So when he graduated Savannah State, he said, hey, I'm going to continue my football career here at Delaware State University.
He was an all-everything at Savannah State, and the Hornets were glad to grab him for the final season of his eligibility. 3rd down and 5 for Merrimack. Carter rolls right side, throwing. Incomplete, well over the head of the intended receiver, Marquise Spence. So it'll be 3 and out for the Warriors here as the Hornets will get the ball back.
Right now, Delaware State University looking like they did when they were playing against Lincoln when they came down here. And, they were a little bit nervous about this Merrimack because they heard the offense was putting up a whole lot of points, but the defense played that possession very well, got the 3 and out, and they get ready to put that offense right back on the field.
Now the Warriors have to get their 11th man on the field here. Comes in on that line. Would not be good to try to punt with 10 players. Well, there's a whistle. And a timeout called by the Warriors. Merrimack calling a timeout just before the snap of the football. So Delaware State looking to bounce back here. Got on the season 1-4 after an opening week loss to Delaware, then came back and soundly trounced Lincoln here on September 14th. Then losses to Howard, North Carolina A&T, South Carolina State, and Morgan State. The remaining games after today, the Hornets will be on the road for 2, and they'll be at home for 3. They go on the road 2 weeks in a row, North Carolina Central and Florida A&M, then at home against Bethune-Cookman, Norfolk State, and the season finale against St. Francis. 4th down and 5 from the Merrimack 30-yard line. And this kick, a line drive, not much hang time, takes a Hornet bounce. It'll come back to the 40-yard line, bounce back about 3 or 4 yards after it hit the ground. And Hornets will come out here with good field position to start their second drive.
Looked like Tavares Sample was back there for the return, and he thought better of it. He didn't really try to field that ball, just allowed it to take that tricky bounce, and it ended up benefiting Delaware State University.
That offensive line for the Hornets, Dwight Chavis is the center. The tackles, Savion Hopes and Caden Crawford. At the guards, it's Matthew Dirks and Eric Kareem. Isaiah Williams listed as a tight end. 3 wide receivers, Trey Gross, Charles Peeler, and Kawana Colley. And the Hornets staying on the ground here. They give it to Harris, and he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he was lucky to get back there. It looked for a moment like he might have been stopped a yard short of the line of scrimmage, but they'll put it down right at the 40-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Might have lost about the length of the football.
Delaware State's got to be very careful, Gary. They don't want to be predictable. They don't want Merrimack to start loading up in the box, thinking that Del State won't pass.
Harris to try to sweep around the right side, and he'll get a couple of yards, knocked out of bounds around the 42-yard line. Hornets will face a 3rd down and 8. That's 9 plays offensively, all on the ground, and this time they may be forced to go to the air.
You know, and you hate to be predictable in that regard, that, you know, you have to get so many yards that you're more likely to pass. But you know what? These are the situations that they've been given, and they got to be able to convert on these situations.
They split 2 wide receivers out wide on the right side. Bethea is going to be taken down for a loss. He gets sacked, and they're going to mark the line of scrimmage at the 40-yard line.
Man,
there was a fumble on the play, and the Hornets got it back. A loss of 3, back to the 39.
Just a whole lot of pressure applied to Talik Bethea, because they pretty much knew he had to pass the ball.
Well, the Hornets apparently lost that fumble. It'll be Merrimack ball, 1st and 10 at the Delaware State 39-yard line. Christian Carter with good field position here. They went 3 and out on their first possession, trying to do something here against Delaware State, and a big hole left side into the secondary and taken down around the Hornets' 27-yard line. And that's a carry by Matt Brehan.
Just hit that left side. It was a very big hole for him. He wasn't really touched till he got tackled. And, again, the defense has to remain disciplined and remember each one of these plays is a game in itself.
1st down for Merrimack. This time the run on the right side goes nowhere as the Hornets were there to sniff it out. Brandon Carswell led the attack.
Again, doing a good job of sliding down from his defensive line position and making a nice tackle for a loss for Delaware State University.
It's 2nd and 13. Ball on the DSU.
Loss of 3 on the play makes it 2nd down and 13 for Merrimack. Carter takes a high snap, throwing outside quickly and completing the pass at short yardage up to the Delaware State 25-yard line. Johnny Rosario on the reception for Merrimack.
He might have picked up maybe 4, 5 yards if they're going to give him a generous spot on that play. So, again, it's going to be a third and a fairly long situation for Merrimack.
Calling it 3rd and 7 as the ball was placed on the 24-yard line. Carter has good passing stats on the season. See what he's able to do here on this 3rd and long situation, working from the gun. 2 receivers split out wide on the right side, 1 on the left. He's throwing right side. It will be pulled in and complete at the 13-yard line. Great catch by Marquise Spence, who had to go up high and came down landing on his back.
2 defenders in the area, and he caught the ball with 2 guys literally covering him. So, again, they were in the right position, but they just couldn't make a play on the ball.
Right about until the time he came down and hit the ground, I thought the ball was going to be too high and it was going to be incomplete. That's a great catch by Spence to put the Warriors into the red zone. Carter now on first down from the Delaware State 13-yard line. Fakes the handoff, throws left side, way over the head of his intended receiver, Nick Salmon. Incomplete to make it 2nd and 10.
DeAndre Blue Eli was in on the coverage on that play, Gavin. He looked to be maybe a half a second late on that coverage. So, again, you know, Delaware State defensive backs have to understand where they're at on the field right now and what the appropriate level of coverage is. It's got to be a much tighter man-to-man situation.
Louis Eli now covering Anthony Norcia out on that left side as Merrimack comes to the line of scrimmage. Wide out split on the left side this time and 1 on the right side. Fake the handoff, throwing toward the end zone, and it will be complete. A one-handed catch made in the end zone for the touchdown for Merrimack. Great athletic display there. Johnny Rosario jumping up, pulling it down with the left hand.
Charles Peeler in on the coverage, and again, he just outworked him for that touchdown. So that's a very good, aggressive play by Merrimack.
Now Corey Resendez will attempt Nick Salmon, the holder. As Merrimack wants to tie up the game here, and we have an attempt to call a timeout here. And I don't know if this play is going to go under review to see if the catch was completed. Did he hold it all the way through?
If you're Delaware State, you're hoping for a little camera magic to prove maybe he didn't. But again, it was a great effort by him.
It sure was. Rosario went way up in the air to pull that one in. Now, if it was a clean catch, they can go ahead and kick the extra point. But right now, the officials are going to review it. And they'll take another look at it. Once again, a beautiful afternoon here in Dover, Delaware for a football game in the middle of October with temperatures in the low 60s, 60 degrees at game time. And, and here you don't know what kind of weather you're going to get from week to week here in the Mid-Atlantic. There have been times when it's pretty bitter cold out here for a game like this in the middle of October. This is traditionally also where you would probably find the homecoming game. But Delaware State did homecoming early this year, back on September 21st.
Yeah, and I went online, and they got a couple of people who were conducting polls to determine what's better. Is the is the early fall homecoming a better situation than like the late early winter homecoming? And to my surprise, a lot of people liked that early homecoming. They liked the weather, and they just thought it was a pretty decent fit for homecoming.
They certainly filled the stands. It didn't hurt the attendance whatsoever on that early homecoming. And we're getting a chance to see the replay. We saw the catch as the player was going down. We didn't get a chance to see it all the way through. Did he hold on to the ball after making contact with the ground?
We saw the one angle, but I'm assuming they have access to more than one angle. And it could be inconclusive, so, if they can't really determine it, they're just going to go with the call that was made.
And we're going to get an idea from referee Eric Green here of what the call is. It is a touchdown for Merrimack. So they will set up once again for that extra point attempt from the hold of Nick Salmon and Corey Resendez to kick the extra point. He's a graduate student also, seeing more and more guys who had that extra year of eligibility come back and play. Merrimack has Resendez as the graduate student. He kicks the extra point, and it is good. Resendez played his collegiate, his undergrad years at Merrimack and came back to the university for that extra season. We'll take a timeout on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3.
You can't fake steak.
Corey Resendez set to kick off here for Merrimack as we're knotted up here at 7 with 6:23 left in the first quarter. Gary Lang and Mike Walker at Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware, capital of the First State. And Resendez hits this one to the end zone, and it'll be brought out up the right side. Hit at about the 20-yard line and taken down there on the kick return for Delaware State. Karan Aline with a pretty good return from about a yard or so deep in his end zone, bringing it out to the 22. They started that first drive at the 23, so we know they can work from there.
I like his aggression. He's showing that, listen, I want to make something happen. I want to make a play. The brother of Bryson Eileen, who graduated last year, they have a similar playing style.
Bryant Dallas takes around the left side, and he's going to lose a yard on the play. Back to the 21-yard line as Merrimack managed to string that one out, and when Dallas decided to cut upfield, there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have any north and south options, so he was just trying to work as much field as he possibly can, see if he could catch a flank. But again, Merrimack is starting to dial in to the run game with Delaware State University, and they're almost daring them to pass at this point.
Hornets have yet to put it up in the air in this game. 2nd down and 11. And they're going to go to the air this time as Bethea rolls right side, throws complete. It's Jordan Hanna on the reception at the 30-yard line. Faced now with a 3rd down and short yardage, about 2 yards to go for the first down.
And that's just a good pitch and catch with Tyleek Bethea and Jordan Hanna. Just a basic out pattern, and he hit him in stride and picked up huge yards and makes it a 3rd and short situation.
Bethea takes the snap, hands it off. Hornets first down through the middle. Had to run over an official, or he might still be running as he went straight ahead. Bryant Dallas straight ahead on the play, ran into the umpire on that play, Jeffrey Wills, or he might have had open field in front of him. Wills was the only person on the field in front of Bryant Dallas.
Wills, maybe dialed in too much to what's happening on that offensive line and not recognizing that a freight train is heading toward him.
First down, Hornets at their 44-yard line. Hand off again in the backfield. And a little bit of space for Bryant Dallas, getting out to the 47-yard line.
Dallas on the carry. Jack Lambert on the tackle. 2nd down.
Hornets on that previous play opened up a huge hole on that right side for Bryant Dallas.
And he's got great speed, Gary. If he can hit the holes clean, he's a problem because he's hard to catch from behind. But that offensive line, they're hot and cold. Their first possession, they did a great job of marching down the field.
He had just gone to the next gear when he ran into the official. 3-yard gain on that last play. It's 2nd down and 7. Dallas again into the middle, hit after a couple of yards, bounced off of that and worked his way forward up to across the midfield stripe and into Merrimack territory to the 46. That's where he needed to go for the first down.
If you're Delaware State University, you're picking up first downs. The offensive line's doing a good job of blocking. You see they went into the huddle. They're just trying to, allow some time to tick off the clock and shrink the game a little bit.
Offensive linemen love it when they can dominate that line of scrimmage. The fake handoff to Richard Harris downfield. Kawana Kali, intended receiver, covered well down there, step for step by Caleb Holden. Pass thrown a little bit too far, out of bounds, second down.
Again, Tyleek Bethea and Kawana Kali, they don't have the chemistry that they will have because they're both coming back next year. And in the off season and the remainder of this season, they're going to continuously work together. But Tyleek Bethea will get more confidence where he puts that ball maybe to that outside shoulder and gives him a chance to make a play.
Bethea will hand it to Harris on second down, and he is stopped and pushed backward. Loss of 3 back to the 49-yard line. It's third down and 13.
That's Bertrand Hudden on that carry. They have a similar number.
Yeah, 35-36. Look a little bit similar.
Big bodies, big boys. But, again, he struggled to find that clean lane. And, you know, that's a big loss. You know, you start that particular series of plays off with a missed pass and then a big loss. Now it's third and quite a bit for Del State.
Sometimes that's the problem with an incompleted pass on first down. Here's Bethea having to scramble in the backfield. Tosses ahead, and it's just too low. Bounces off the ground before Jordan Hanna can pull it in. And that'll make it 4th and 13. The Hornets will send out their punter for the first time today, Fidel Romo Martinez, the brother of the place kicker, Jose.
So after scoring on their first possession, Del State again running into that situation where they can't sustain these drives on offense, so they're going to be turning the ball back over again. And you're right. You know, when you miss those positive yards on first down because you don't complete those passes, and, you know, it's going to hurt you as that particular series of plays goes on.
Delaware State with a substitution late as they went into punt formation, and the timeout called for by the bench. Coach Rod Milstead got in there very quickly and said, we're not ready for this. We need a timeout. And so they stopped the clock with 2:46 left in the first period, tied at 7.
The Hornets are in a football game, Gary. You know, Merrimack is as good as they were billed to be. The Hornets have proven they can run the ball on them, and they proved defensively they can stop them. So the defense is going to have to step up one more time and see if they can get the ball back for the offense.
So now stepping into punt is Fidel Romo Martinez for Delaware State. 4th in punting average in the MEAC with 39.3 yards. And that is a good one. It will bounce and take a quick run to the end zone for the touchback. Martinez had all of that one and a little bit more. He would have liked to have had that one hit a little bit and hold up that the coverage team could get down there, but it squirted toward the end zone as soon as it hit on that end. So for the touchback.
Okay, message sent.
With their third possession of the game, starting at their 20-yard line. It's Christian Carter at quarterback, sophomore for the Warriors. Now he steps toward the line of scrimmage, checks off. After looking over that defense that Delaware State has put out there, they'll run the ball into the middle. And not much there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage as that Hornets defense quickly closed up the gap. A gain of a yard on the play on that carry.
Good team tackle by Delaware State University. Just multiple guys getting to the ball. And, you know, they create a good situation where now they're going to have to force Merrimack to pick up some additional yards. So they may look to pass the ball on this particular play.
With 2nd down and 9. Once again, Carter has 2 receivers split out wide left. One on the right side, lone back in the backfield with Christian Carter. Carter takes the snap, drops straight back, wants to throw, looks left side, double coverage, incomplete, way too far for Marquise Spence. And that will bring up 3rd and 9, and that's a good situation for this Hornet defense.
Joanne Granger and Blue Eli in on that coverage on that last pass play by Merrimack. So they had him covered below and on top. And it would have taken the type of pass that Merrimack just couldn't throw.
Marquise Spence on the season, 6 touchdown catches, 7 now with the 1 today. 45 catches on the year for 479 yards. You better double coverage that guy. They throw it out to the tight end, and it's going to be short of the first down on the catch for Merrimack by Jake Doherty.
4th down.
And it brings up a 4th down. Hornets forcing Merrimack 3 and out for the second time today.
DeAndre Blue Eli, defensive back, also does punt returning for Delaware State University. He's deep right now, looking to make something big happen for Del State.
Corey Resendez does all the kicking for Merrimack, place kicking and punting. A little bit of a rugby style to him that time, and he popped it up. It's a short kick and takes a Hornet bounce. Merrimack trying to cover it before it goes too far back, and they'll say they managed to touch the ball at the 39-yard line. That's about a 10 or 11-yard punt.
It looked like they had somebody indifferent. It looked like it was Daquan Shepard who was back there punting for Merrimack. I don't know what he would be doing back there.
He took the snap and ran a couple steps to his right side, and a little bit of a rugby style to the kick. And then he rushed it and popped it up in the air. That was about a 9-10-yard punt. And the Hornets will have good field position at the Warriors' 38-yard line. Tyleek Bethea takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He bootlegs it around the left side, cuts to the outside, 20-yard line, 15-yard line, pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, pushed late after he stepped out of bounds, and a penalty marker flies. They'll get extra yardage.
That's only going to help his confidence in terms of developing his run game, Gary. He runs like a deer when he decides to run the ball. He's kind of actually got very good speed. It's just not one of those skill sets that he looks to use.
There was a tackler out there. He picked up the block, and instead of cutting it inside, he went to the outside, and that's why he picked up such good yardage. Had a wide receiver out there who was just causing problems and getting in the way of a tackler. Moves the ball to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal for Delaware State with the penalty yardage. Bethea goes under center. Don't see that much. Bryant Dallas, right side, cuts in. Touchdown, Delaware State, as Dallas dives into the end zone.
Dallas with a 4-yard run.
That's just a good job of being patient by Brian Dallas, Gary. He knew he was going to have an opportunity at some point to square up and maybe lower his shoulder, but he saw a crease and kind of went airborne sideways and did just enough to get through the crack of that door to get his second trip into the pay dirt.
A 2-play drive of 38 yards put Delaware State back into the lead here. Jose Romo Martinez to kick. His brother Fidel Romo Martinez is the holder. The left-footed kicker puts it up and through the uprights.
The extra point is good.
So the Hornets go back in front here, 14-7 over Merrimack with just a few seconds left here in the first period. You can credit, though, Tyleek Bethea with getting that drive going on that good run from the 38 down to around the 13, and then the penalty on the play when he got pushed after he had gone out of bounds added the yardage down to the 5, and the Hornets took advantage of that.
You know, they had great field position because it started with a very poor punt by Merrimack and Delaware State University, just taking advantage of those opportunities. And, again, that's what you need to do, right, when these situations present themselves to you. You have to be able to take advantage of them. And I think Tyleek Bethea is going to start to recognize, Gary, more and more that, hey, I can do a lot more damage against these defenses if I just tuck and run. the pass game will eventually develop for me, but I got to take what the defense gives them, and they're giving them run opportunities now.
Jake Burdell's kickoff. This one's a short one. Taken at the 10. Taken to the outside. On the return by Rodney Sampson. And Sampson gets up outside the 25-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the Merrimack 26-yard line with just a few ticks on the clock left to go. 1 or 2 plays the Merrimack can get in here in the first period. Talik Bethea now 1 of 3 passing for 20 yards. But Bethea with 29 yards on 2 carries in this game.
If this is a run play or a pass reception, this will probably be the end of the quarter.
Carter keeps it. Quarterback draw. Gets a couple of yards. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, got away on an ankle tackle and managed to get away from that. Then took it forward for 2 yards out to the 28-yard line. And that's going to wrap up the first quarter of play here in Dover as they get to the line of scrimmage, and we go to all zeros on the clock. And here at Delaware State University, we'll take a timeout on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network.
Bill Simmons Podcast.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons Podcast.
They spread Leaky Soup hard to the right side of the field.
Trying to fill a gap over there as the Hornets come out offensively, or rather Merrimack comes out offensively. The quarterback, Carter, started to run with the ball, got a pitch out. Pretty good play fake because he got hit hard in the backfield. They took it around the left side of that offensive unit, and they picked up some good positive yardage.
First down, Warriors.
Out to the 36-yard line, and that's a first down for Merrimack.
Merrimack looking to answer that touchdown that Delaware State scored on its last possession.
Try to even things up, quick out pass, and that'll be close to a first down. Yards after the catch on the reception for Merrimack. And a little bit of talking between the player over there on coverage. That's Nick Pilata, who made the catch for Merrimack.
That's Nigel Bynum on the tackle. And he just gave a lot of cushion, Gary, at the snap of that ball. So it's easy pitch and catch for Merrimack.
They marked his forward progress to the 45. It's second down and 1. It looked like he might have had the first down, but they're going to say his knee hit at the 45. Carter, a little bit of time. Penalty marker in the air, and the whistle blows, stopping the play. Kind of a late stop on that illegal procedure call. Usually they'll get that penalty marker in the air and blow the whistle before the play goes off. A little delayed on the call as the play was underway when they threw the flag and blew the whistle. Regardless, it's a 5-yard penalty against Merrimack, puts it back to the 40-yard line and makes it second down and 6. And the Hornets will take that.
Looks like they're going to hit Marquis Spence with that penalty for Merrimack.
Quarterback Carter looks things over at the line of scrimmage, now steps back in the shotgun. Long snap count. Taking the clock way down to 2 seconds. Carter running with the ball himself and gets out around the 42, 43-yard line, picking up 2 or 3 yards. It's still going to be third down, and let's see where they're finally going to put it, at the 42. They're down and 4 for Merrimack. And we have a timeout being called. Let's hear from Eric Green, the referee. Reviewing the previous play, they say.
It's got to be for a spot.
Yeah. About the only thing that would need to be reviewed because there was no handoff, no pass, no exchange of the ball. So the officials will take a look at it. Referee Eric Green and the field judge Terrell Turner over there assessing things, figuring out what's going on with it. When it comes to your car or truck, trust the Duck. Fred Drake Automotive, 302-378-4877. Not far away from the basketball season starting, Mr. Walker.
Yeah, we've heard extensively from Coach Skeeter. He's very excited about, what he's working with as far as the program is concerned, players, and some of the support that he's received from the university. He talked about addressing some problems that they had with the facilities, particularly the locker rooms, and the university responded.
Well, they're resetting the clock. It's showing 12:50, and they're asking for it to be reset to 13 minutes, 46 seconds, and that's the only call we've gotten from Eric Green.
So this is a big play for Delaware State University. If they can force Merrimack to punt, it'll put Del State's offense back on the field. Right now they seem to be very confident. They're moving the ball. They just got to find a way to continuously get in the end zone.
It's 3rd and 4. From the 42-yard line for Merrimack. Carter drops back. Pressure coming. Gets hit. Completes the pass at the 50-yard line and down into Delaware State territory with the ball. It's Anthony Norcia, and he'll be marked out of bounds at the Hornets 42, first down, Warriors.
Carter doing a good job of knowing he was going to get hit on that play, Gary, but he hung out in that pocket to the very last second, threw that ball, got it off. Took some pounding after he released the pass, but that's just good execution by Merrimack.
Hornets with a big rush right up the middle, too, but unable to get there in time. Merrimack keeps the ball on the move here. Long count by Carter. Quickly throwing, right side, incomplete, too high that time for Anthony Norcia, and he took a bit of a knock from Nigel Bynum afterward.
Bynum again, giving him a whole lot of cushion on that play. Had he caught that ball, that would have been easily about a 5-yard reception. So, I'm looking for these defensive backs to tighten up a little bit and challenge these wide receivers, because right now the wide receivers, I believe, just have way too much cushion in their patterns.
Merrimack with a 2nd down from the Delaware State 42-yard line. They have receivers split out, 2 on the left side, 1 on the right. Man in motion to the far side is Dandini. And now in the backfield, the quarterback throwing desperately as pressure was coming. It was Pontrell Gray who was ready to make the sack. He got rid of it. Carter got rid of it just in time and almost got picked off.
Alex Lozano, the person who almost put his hands on that, just wasn't in the best position to make a play on the ball. But, again, just good pressure, good defense by Del State, forcing Carter to just get rid of the ball.
Christian Carter has been picked off 6 times on the season. Almost gave another one away.
He's facing a lot of pressure on every pass play because Del State is getting to him.
They're starting to win the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. Carter with more time has to run. Up the middle. First down. Breaks a tackle at the 30. Takes it down to the Hornets' 25-yard line. Good scramble by Christian Carter.
Great individual effort. The pocket collapsed around him. He stepped up, recognized that you didn't have anybody to throw it to down the field, and that tuck and run. You could see him. He's got great balance, avoids a couple of tackles, finally gets hit and still goes north and south to pick up as many yards as he can.
Not a running quarterback on the season coming in. 52 times he ran the ball and only had 84 yards. Picked up a bunch there. Got the first down for Merrimack. That's the important part for the Warriors. Now they'll put the ball in play from the Delaware State 24-yard line. Carter taking a long time on the count. And he carried the ball himself on that play, called his own number, picked up a yard to the 23.
good reaction by the defense, recognizing that Carter had the ball and not allowing him to pick up any significant yards on that first down carry.
They marked the line of scrimmage just shy of the 22-yard line. It'll be a second down and short 9, long 8, whichever you want to count it as. Just about time we were saying Carter didn't run the ball a lot. He called his own number. The handoff on the draw play. Jamari Venter is still trying to push forward on this Delaware State defense as the scrum took it to the 14-yard line.
That might be enough for a first down, Gary.
It is.
First down, Warriors.
Jamari Venter got in there, and those offensive linemen just kept pushing that defense. Venter in the middle of it, being helped from the front and I'm sure the back as well.
You know, and on that play, you know, it's team versus team in those type of situations. And it looked like Merrimack just wanted it a little bit more than Delaware State did.
First and 10 from Delaware State's 14-yard line for the Warriors. Venter in the backfield with Carter. Man in motion to the far side is Norcia. Carter throwing end zone way over the head and out of the end zone way over the head of his receiver, Johnny Rosario.
Second and 10 for the Warriors. Ball on the DSU 14.
That one landed way behind the end zone. Brings up second down from inside the red zone. They'll put a back directly behind the quarterback, lining Matt Brehan up there. Brehan will shift and come up to the left side of quarterback Christian Carter. Gives the ball to Brehan. He gets across the line of scrimmage, gets wrapped up, picks up a couple of more yards down to the 11. It'll be 3rd and 7.
If you're Del State, you can load the box up because they're not going to beat you deep. They can't get behind you. So you can play real aggressive to the ball. That front 7 in the box, they should be really working hard to get upfield, to get to the ball carrier or the quarterback.
It's tough yardage down there because you don't have as much space in which to work if you're the offense. It's Brehan in the backfield with the quarterback, Carter, from the gun. Pulls it, draw play, quarterback, straight forward and into the end zone as he breaks through a couple of tackles and runs over a Delaware State player to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's that area that Brian Cavalcante used to police, but he's no longer in that middle linebacker position. There's nobody really there. He doesn't get really engaged until he contacts Alex Lozano, outside linebacker, at about the goal line. So, again, good call, good execution by Merrimack on that play.
And for Christian Carter, his 3rd touchdown of the year. They'll try to tie it up here on the extra point kick by Corey Resendez. That one is right through the uprights, and it's good. We're knotted at 14 here in Dover. And we're going to take a timeout here on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sport. At 14 in Dover, Delaware, Mike Walker is the analyst here. I'm Gary Lang, as we're ready for the Hornets to get their 4th possession of the football game. And so far, the big difference in the game, big runs by the quarterbacks.
Right.
Corey Resendez will send this one to the Delaware State 5. Right up the right side hash mark on the return. Corin Aline brings it out for Delaware State. Stopped at the 20. Let's see where they're going to set it down. Looks like 28. That's exactly right. It's kind of where I thought it was, and they agree. Hornets have scored on 2 of their possessions with one was a 77-yard drive to open the game. The last time they got the ball as a result of a bad punt with good field position on the Merrimack side of the field. It only took 2 plays for them to get in. Now they try to drive downfield. And Bethea goes deep. It is complete. Down to the 30-yard line. Touchdown, Delaware State. That's the one that the Hornets have been looking for all year. Corin Aline got behind the defender. Bethea put it down there, and Aline didn't have to change speed, didn't have to adjust, shift, anything. Perfectly laid out there.
I mean, that's exactly what this kid offers you. He's got the big arm. He's tall. He can see over the line of scrimmage. And if you give him enough time, he's going to find receivers like Corin Aline who have that ability, like you mentioned, Gary, to get behind defenders.
And the Hornets sting quickly here on one play. And then the extra point kick is good. That didn't take long for them to score. And it only took 16 seconds, or check that, 16 seconds off the clock for Delaware State to put more points up on the scoreboard and go up 21-14. Another timeout on the field. This is the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons' podcast.
Back at Dover, Delaware, Gary Lang along with Mike Walker. As Delaware State, that is the longest touchdown pass of the collegiate career for Tyleek Bethea, the freshman. And that pass was twice as long as his previous longest pass, 72 yards for the Hornets. Ball loose down there inside the 10-yard line. And what happened was that the coverage man failed to cover the ball. He thought it was going to go out of bounds. And then all of a sudden, he realized it wasn't going to go out of bounds. The problem was he reached out to knock the ball away or do something with it, try to reel it in. And he was out of bounds when he touched that ball, wasn't he?
Yeah, it looked like it.
But they're going to call illegal procedure on Delaware State and call the ball out of bounds and bring it out to the 35-yard line. But I thought the player who touched the ball was laying out of bounds when he reached in. That would have... Once you're out of bounds, you can't be the first one to touch it. Whatever the reason, it'll be first down for Merrimack from their own 35-yard line. Christian Carter going to try to even this thing up. Running back in the backfield, tripped. Was not touched when he went down.
Christian Johnson in on that tackle, just making sure.
Matt Brehan on the carry. Lost 2. Back to the 33-yard line.
It's a huge possession for Delaware State University defensively.
Yeah.
If they can create another 3 and out, they might be able to start to break the spirit of Merrimack.
They're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage, at least offensively. And Carter on second down and long. Drops straight back. Wants to throw. Does so down left side. Broken up. Good coverage for Delaware State on the play.
Great job by Granger on that play, Gary. He was in position, and this is the thing that we've said more than one occasion, that the defensive backs, they're in position, but they're not making those big plays. And I think that was a great job by him of, taking his eyes off of the receiver, turning back to locate where the ball was at, and just knocking it out of the sky.
7 times this season, Dwayne Granger has broken up passes for Delaware State. And that was a big one right there. 3rd down and 12. It's going to force Carter to go to the air again. And he is now 6 of 13 passing, make it 6 of 14 as he threw that ball well out of bounds and away from the intended receiver, Marquise Spence. Have a Hornet down on the play, getting up slowly. It's Alexander Lozano, one of the linebackers, as they put a pretty good rush on Christian Carter.
Whole lot of pressure. Carter just trying to get that ball in the area where he thinks the receiver might be, but he was off target. And, again, that pressure for Delaware State University pays off big because now it's a 4th and punting situation.
Exactly what you called for, too. A 3 and out. D'Andre Blue Eli will return this punt for Delaware State. He's at his 29-yard line to take the punt.
Going to be returnable.
Yeah, it's going to bounce right to him at the 21-yard line. Comes up through a bit of the gap, and then across the 30. He'll be stopped at the 31-yard line. D'Andre Blue Eli with a nice 10-yard return there. If they mark it at the 31, and that's where it is. Plenty of time left here in the first half. 8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the half, and the Hornets now want to double up on that lead.
Just got to remain consistent, be calm, recognize they've proven they can hit the home run plays. Now they got to prove to us that they can have continuous and continual sustained drives throughout the first half.
Again, they come away with good field position, 1st and 10 from the 31, and Bethea goes to the air, throws the short screen pass to Isaiah Williams, the tight end. And that didn't gain any yardage whatsoever.
Isaiah Williams has got to recognize that, his biggest and best attribute is his size. He's got to plant that foot, turn upfield, and get as many yards as he can. He's not going to be able to outrun anybody in that flank area.
Nobody has a size advantage at 6'2", 255. 2nd down and 11. Delaware State with 2 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right. And Bethea on the keeper, runs right side, goes out of bounds. Picked up about 5 yards, maybe 6 on the play.
Good play by Bethea, Gary. He didn't pick up the first down, but instead of facing a 3rd and, 10, 3rd and 9, it's more realistic, more reasonable 3rd and a long 5, I would call it.
Yep.
It's 3rd and 5 at the 36.
Ball at the 36-yard line. As Hornets looking to put together maybe a longer drive. I mean, you love those 72-yard touchdown passes, but it puts your defense on the field very quickly.
They got to find a way to get Trey Gross involved.
On the snap, Bethea rolls left side, looks, throws, and it's going to be incomplete. Looking for Jordan Hanna downfield, being covered by his number 21 counterpart, Maverick Gamble, for Merrimack.
And there was just some confusion between those two, Jordan Hanna and Tyleek Bethea. Looked like Tyleek Bethea wanted him to work upfield a little bit, and Hanna broke it off, and Bethea just kind of lofted a pass out there, thinking where Jordan Hanna might be.
Pretty good coverage by Maverick Gamble, too, because Hanna couldn't get past him. He just kind of blocked it off there without any contact, getting in the way of the receiver. Now the Hornets on 4th down and 5 will punt. Missed opportunity there. Oh, that is a beautiful high spiraling punt taken at the 24. Brought upfield, and then the contact made just outside the 30-yard line. Marquise Spence on the return for Merrimack.
Spence gets his top pop on that play. Again, good coverage by the punt team for Delaware State University. And you're right, Gary. They had a golden opportunity in that last series to take some more life out of Merrimack, but they just haven't sealed the deal.
And we have another timeout here on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3 and listening to 8. To tie the game up here on this possession, Delaware State in front, 21-14 in the second quarter in Dover, Delaware. I'm Gary Lang with Mike Walker. And we're ready to get it underway again here. First down after the punt, Merrimack from their own 33-yard line. The quarterback, Carter, pulls it down. He runs left side, has good yardage, driven out of bounds, out close to the 43-yard line. Could have a first down on that carry.
Might come a little bit short, but he's right.
It looks where they're going to mark it. Yeah, you're right. He's short. Not by much.
But I tell you what I like is, he's taking a pounding every time he runs that ball, and that's going to affect his play over time. Quarterbacks don't like to get continuously hit throughout the game.
Second down and 1. This time it's fake the handoff, fake the draw play, throw downfield. and a flag flies. I can't believe this one. Johnny Rosario, the intended receiver, he had to stop, jump up in the air, tried to come over top of the Delaware State coverage man, and they threw a flag.
Nigel Bynum, on the coverage, and again, one of those situations where he could.
It was an uncatchable ball. The defender stopped, did not initiate contact with the receiver. And we're going to get another look at it here on a replay.
Not sure, why they call that, but again, Bynum got to find a way, Gary, to make a play on these balls. He's got to be able to turn his head, have confidence in his ability to make adjustments to the ball, and know where the receiver's at.
15-yard penalty. It takes the ball to the Delaware State 42-yard line. A running play right side down to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Merrimack. Untouched all the way to the end zone. Jamari Venter. They swept to the right side, opened up a huge hole, and Venter used some speed to get to the end zone.
Yeah, just a great job by Merrimack. Nothing but a sweep to the right side of the field. And when he turned it up, it looked like a track meet at that point. Nobody but Del State was in position.
So Corey Resendes will try for the third time today to tie this game up. And again, his holder is Nick Salmon. Snap a little high, but it's pulled down, put in place. And we're tied again at 21 here in Dover.
I tell you, the ebb and flow of this game, the back and forth, I believe it really benefits Merrimack. They just want to remain in the game. They're playing above their skill level at this point. And, it would be a huge victory for them to knock off Del State here at home. If you're the Hornets, you can't keep allowing those opportunities to, put the sledgehammer on this team to get away. If you gain the lead, you got to be able to not only gain a lead, but you got to be able to grow a lead. And you got to really focus on taking your opponents mentally. You got to take them mentally out of the game as well as physically.
We have perfect weather here in Dover, but the weather down south of us due to that tropical storm has played havoc with MEAC schedules. Morgan State's game was moved to earlier today against South Carolina State, and the Bulldogs won that one. The Norfolk State Bethune-Cookman game moved to tonight at 7, and the North Carolina A&T against Florida A&M game will be played Sunday at 2 because of the storm. Kickoff goes into the end zone. The Hornets will down it there for a touchback. Pretty good distance on that kick by Corey Resendes. Aline would have loved to have gotten a run back on that, but he was too deep in the end zone when he caught that ball and on the back pedal.
So it's 75 yards for pay dirt for Del State. They've shown that they can move the ball. The opening drive, they went 77 yards in 7 plays. They got to see if they can repeat that one more time. And
Lake Bethea has a 72-yard touchdown pass in this game. That was the more recent touchdown. They'll try to run left side. Oh, a whole lot of that Merrimack defense on that right side of the defensive unit there to make the play. And the stop on Delaware State for a loss of yardage, and a Hornet injured on the play.
It's an offensive lineman. He's going to walk off the field.
Dwight Chavis, the starting center. Loss of 2 yards on the play. Bad things can happen when you have to change your center in a game.
The good thing is, he's going to be replaced by Ernest Sellers, and Ernest Sellers was the starting center from last year, so this is a guy who has some game experience. There shouldn't be that tremendous fall off in ability.
It's that snap between the center and the quarterback, and a low snap pulled in by Bethea, hands it off. That's a running play out to the 27-yard line by Richard Harris. Haven't called his name too much here after he ran the ball about the first 5 plays of the game.
They opted to go back to Brian Dallas after Richard Harris, I thought, did a very good job in their opening drive of hitting those holes and picking up big yards. So I guess they're just going to try to split time with them, in a very balanced way.
3rd down and 8 as Bethea looks to the sideline for some signals. Now he calls the play at the line of scrimmage. 5 seconds on the play clock. Needs to get this one away. Down to 2-1. Made it. And the running play off of left tackle. They'll only get up to the 29-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down and 6 on the carry by Richard Harris.
They were hoping Harris could make something happen on that 3rd and long situation. But again, Merrimack doing a good job of loading that box up. They're just not intimidated by Delaware State University's pass game right now. So they're willing to load up the box and decide that they're going to stop the run.
And Merrimack forces the 3 and out. Romo Martinez kicking pretty well today. This ball will bounce and start to come back a little bit toward Delaware State. They'll down it down around the 34, 35-yard line of Merrimack. They'll mark it at the 35-yard line. We have 3:50 left in the first half. Merrimack with some time here to try to put together a drive. They tied it up on their last possession. A bit of a back-and-forth battle here. Delaware State goes into the lead. Merrimack ties it. And it's happened that way all along the way. Hornets scored first. Merrimack tied it. Hornets scored again. Merrimack tied it. Delaware State put a 3rd touchdown up on the board, and Merrimack tied it. Here's Christian Carter in the backfield waiting to take the snap. High snap. And an awkward handoff, and it delayed the play enough that they only got a yard on it out to the 36-yard line on that carry by Jamari Venti.
Good team defense by Delaware State, just different levels of guys getting involved in that particular play. Everybody working towards the ball and literally only allowing inches on the play.
Timing between the center, the quarterback, and the running back on the handoff, more critical than people really think about. Here's Carter throwing into the middle. Spence, the wide receiver, on that slant-in pattern, but way in front of him. It's incomplete. 3rd down and 9. And on these 3rd down and long situations, the Hornets defense has done pretty well today.
Right, they need to stop right here because there's still plenty of time left for them to put more points on the board. They just got to really get in field goal range to take the lead.
It'd be nice to carry the lead into the locker room at halftime. It's been a while since that has happened for the Delaware State Hornets this season. They need a stop here. 3rd and 9. Carter, straight drop back, throwing left side, way out of bounds. Looking on the left side there for Nick Pallotta, and good coverage by Charles Peeler, but that ball thrown not anywhere where Pallotta could have caught it. So it's 4th and 9.
They got Peeler back there for Delaware State University. They have him listed as an athlete because he plays so many positions. It would be huge for him to get involved with the game right now with a nice return.
2 punt returns on the season for Peeler for a total of 9 yards. He'd like to just wipe that out and make it a big return here. He's going to have to move to his left side, take the ball at the 15-yard line, finds a bit of an opening on the left side and has brought down as he comes across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Nice return by Peeler there.
Got north and south. Gary made a couple guys miss early, and again held on to the ball more importantly. So he's going to give Del State's offense an opportunity to start this drive around the 28-yard line with about 2:56 left.
Important that he got a return there too, and the ball didn't have a chance to bounce and roll further toward the end zone. He got positive yardage for the Hornets with that. They'll run it through the middle, and it's good pickup by Bryant Dallas. They opened a heck of a hole there out to the 38-yard line, and that's going to be just short of the first down for Delaware State.
He's going to have about 9 yards on that. The clock's going to be rolling, and again, they just got to get in field goal range at this point.
Give it to Dallas again. He'll test that right side, and I'm not sure if he got it. It's going to be very close, and it will depend on the spot of the ball here. Line of scrimmage was the 37. They put the ball down at the 38, and when I look across the field, it looks like, well, they're going to move the sticks.
Yeah,
First down, Hornets.
They were gesturing to move the chains.
Hornets.
Bethea from the shotgun, drops back, looks, wants to throw, has to get away from some trouble. Tried to throw into the middle and got lucky there. He was almost picked off. Jake Ragusa, the linebacker, almost had himself an open field interception.
Clock stops. It's 2nd and 10, and this is a very important play for Del State. Can't be a situation where they lose yards or don't gain any yards, because it'll be a 3rd and long, and they've proven that they're not really good at the 3rd and longs.
2nd and 10. Bethea steps up, pulls the ball down, runs with it, cuts to the outside, and then steps out of bounds. Just short of the 45-yard line. They'll say he got to the 43. We have a penalty marker on the play. That was about a 5-yard pickup for Bethea. The marker is in Delaware State's backfield. And we know what that usually means. We'll get the call from Eric Green. They got Caden Crawford for an infraction. And it happened in the backfield. So it'll set the ball back 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. They'll mark the new line of scrimmage at the Delaware State 23-yard line.
And it just shows you how critical, these penalties can be. Delaware State, instead of being 3rd and 5, now it's 2nd and about,
25. Yeah. Bethea, wide receivers split out wide on each side, 2 on each side of the line of scrimmage. Snap was a little bit to the left of the quarterback. They tried a draw play, handing it off to Bryant Dallas. Almost looked like it was going to be a direct snap to Dallas.
Yeah, you're right, too, that, looks like Sellers is having some accuracy problems as far as snapping the ball is concerned. And, that's what happens when you bring new centers in.
He may have a lot of game experience, but he's coming into the game cold, and it showed on that snap. A gain of only a yard. 3rd down, 24 for Delaware State. And I don't know, Mike, is it more critical if the quarterback goes under center, or if he's working from the shotgun, if the center comes into the game and they're having just a little trouble on the snaps?
It is easier for the quarterback to go underneath the center because, again, you want to be able to warm up and get kind of used to that snap, that long snap with a shotgun, and I don't think Ernest Sellers had enough time to warm up.
Delaware State has called a timeout. The DSU post-game show is brought to you by American Spirit Federal Credit Union. They're in Newark, Middletown, and Dover. Down to 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the first half here at Alumni Stadium. So if they have to give the ball back to Merrimack, they're going to want to use as much of the clock as they can and not give much time to the Warriors if they get it back.
I'm thinking look for a quick hitter trying to get the ball in one of the playmakers' hands.
And then go for yards after the catch. All right, he's looking downfield. He's sacked back at the 16-yard line. Just couldn't find anybody open, and the pocket collapsed. Tyleek Bethea gets taken down for the loss. They'll mark that line of scrimmage at the 18, and Merrimack now calls the timeout. They want to save some of the clock. They'll have 1 minute and 2 to work with when they get the ball.
Coach Milstead out there coaching Caden Crawford, I guess explaining to him about the mistake he made that turned a 3rd and 5 situation into a 2nd and 25 situation. And, again, these are the things that have been, the Achilles heel of this Del State offense. Their inability to be consistent driving down the field and not making critical mistakes at very critical times.
And a percentage rate of making a first down after picking up a 15-yarder is very low. It's Fidel Romo Martinez. That's a nice punt there. Fair catch called for and made at the 44-yard line by Marquise Spence. And anytime you can keep him from returning the ball, you've done something positive too, because he's a dangerous player.
So now the defense has to pull together one more time and prevent Merrimack from getting any substantive yards and more importantly, any points. Can't allow them in field goal range.
Tell you what kind of a difference it is with Marquise Spence unable to return that ball. He's averaging on the season 12.7 yards per punt return and has a 27-yarder instead of being across the 50-yard line. Merrimack starts at their own 44, and the quarterback on a running play called his own number, Christian Carter, across the 50, going to be close to the first down. They'll say it is a first down at Delaware State's 46. Carter brings him back up to the line of scrimmage, barks out the signals, drops back. Blitz coming, got away with the pass, and it's broken up for Delaware State. Nice coverage down there for the Hornets by Jawayne Granger. Again, Marquise Spence, the intended receiver.
Granger just doing a good job of coming up and applying the pressure. Big hit. Again, good job by Delaware State.
Down to 30 seconds, 32.6 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock left in the first half. Carter. Again to the air. Throwing left side complete and corralled out of bounds short of the first down on the play. Johnny Rosario on the catch, but he's going to be short of the first down by 3 yards, making it 3rd and 3.
DeAndre Blue Eli on the tackle for Delaware State University.
They kept him busy. Critical down here. Carter wants to go to the air, has to run right side, throwing downfield, and it is complete inside the Delaware State 15-yard line. Anthony Norcia pulls it in.
Charles
Carter rolled to the right side and found his open man. Now quickly back to the line of scrimmage here. We're inside of 10 seconds and a timeout. Carter spiked the ball to stop the clock as they worked quickly downfield. They knew exactly what they were doing. Good possession, good game awareness by Christian Carter and that offensive unit to get downfield.
Carter doing a good job of just buying more time, extending the play with his legs, and then throwing a nice rope out there to Norcia.
Yep.
And that was Peeler for Del State. And on the coverage, again, just about a half a step behind him and not able to break that pass up. So just, again, good execution by Merrimack.
Well, before we can even come back after the clock stoppage on the spike, Delaware State uses their final timeout as they want to make sure that its defensive unit is together. 9.9 ticks left on the clock in this second half. Time possibly for 2 plays from inside the red zone at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, they're aggressive. I figured Merrimack would settle for the field goal right here, but they think they're going to get 2 shots at this. So if you're Del State, you got to make them pay for this decision. And that's just a great pass.
Rosario with good presence, too. As soon as he caught that pass and got hit, he bounced up and ran into the center of the field where the team was starting to assemble, lining up at the line of scrimmage. No celebrating, no delay. He knew that they wanted to try to get that play off quickly. Save as much of the time as they possibly could. Christian Carter in the backfield, waiting to take the snap. Drops back on first down. Plenty of time. Now the pressure comes. Now he scrambles, and now he is taken out of bounds. Carter with about a 1-yard gain up to the 13. Hornets, good defensive coverage on that play. He couldn't find anybody open.
And they just couldn't get to him in time, so he scrambled and did enough to get out of bounds and left 2 seconds on the clock to give him a shot at a field goal.
This will be a 30-yard attempt by Corey Resendes. He is 4 of 6 on the season, make it 5 of 7. As Merrimack will take the lead into the locker room on the 30-yard field goal by Corey Resendes. Halftime here at Delaware State. It's Merrimack 24, Delaware State 21. And we'll break away here. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3 and listening to HSR.
Station is at 8 p.m.
Text Nicole, I'll pick you up at 7.
Okay, message sent.
Come from behind here at the Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware. Down 24-21 to Merrimack with a field goal just before the end of the first half. It actually ended the first half. Merrimack will get the ball to start the second half, as Jake Burdell will do the kickoff, moving from our left to our right. And Merrimack will go the opposite direction then. Burdell, this one down to the 2. Brought up the right side, cut back inside, hit, coming across the 15-yard line and stopped there on the return, Rodney Sampson. Sampson stopped right at they're going to mark it at the 17-yard line. So a nice return, but you want to get out across the 20-yard line, so good coverage by Delaware State.
That's a great open field tackle by Pontrell Gray. Here he is the starting middle linebacker, but he's also in on special teams. I like that about Coach Milstead. He believes his best players should be in every aspect and every phase of the game, and now you see why.
Christian Carter, 8 of 20 in the first half for 94 yards, 1 touchdown. So not at the 50% mark there on passing in that first half. See what he's able to do in the second half. Takes the snap, tries to run left side, nothing there. Runs to the right side, picks up a couple of yards. Good pursuit by that defensive line.
Second down for the Warriors.
They had to stop in reverse direction as the quarterback did it, and made a good stop after a 2-yard gain by Carter.
Del State could literally regain momentum of this game with a 3-and-out situation.
They did that about 3 times during the first half, 3-and-outs. So they're capable of forcing it. High snap, fake the handoff. Carter again gets hit from behind, got pushed forward to the 21-yard line, makes it 3rd down and 6.
Third down.
This is that point of the game where we talk about how singular plays can determine the outcome of game, and this is a game, and this is one of them. This is a huge play for Delaware State University. They have a chance to create a 3-and-out situation after Merrimack took the opening kickoff back for the second half and get the ball right back to their offense.
Warriors split 2 receivers out wide on the left, 1 on the right. Carter drops back, throws left side complete, has the first down, and taken out of bounds at the Merrimack 31-yard line. Marquis Spence having a pretty good afternoon out here today. That is his second catch of the day.
Jerron Granger on the coverage, and again, Spence doing a good job of just getting open.
We have a Delaware State player down after the play, and it looks like it's Brooks Parker, the linebacker. And that does not bode well for Delaware State's defense if this is something to keep him out of the rest of the game. Hopefully not. But we look, trainers down there looking, can't tell if it's a knee or it's on the leg.
And again, Spence, kind of wide open, Gary, on that third and long situation. So they did a good job of, masking the play. And Del State was late in responding to it, and a critical third down was gained by the Warriors. They extend the drive. Time ticks off the clock. And, again, they're just looking to methodically move down the field and put more points on the board. Delaware State's defense, the guys out there on the field, have to do something to stop that at this point.
Parker walked off the field. Now he's doing some sprints down the sideline for the trainers, so that could be a good indication. Christian Carter with a first down. Draw play, left side, found a big hole and out to the 44-yard line. A good carry for Matt Brehan. Brehan had 5 carries in the first half for 25 yards. Now it's another first down and a penalty marker, and I think it's going to be an illegal procedure. They tried to get that play off so quickly and catch the defense that I think they caught themselves, and they weren't set. You have to come up to a stop point, and they didn't have their stop point, and that's what got them.
So that's going to help Delaware State out just a little bit, on this play. So now it's a 1st and 15. That's how they're going to start this next series of plays. So, again, the defense has to play with a heightened sense of awareness, and somebody's got to come up and make a play.
1st and 15 now from their own 38-yard line as Merrimack faked the handoff, throwing, crossing pattern complete. And it's Marquis Spence, who's been a thorn in the side of the Hornets today, getting it down to the Delaware State 43-yard line. First down, Merrimack.
Jerron Granger on the tackle and then on the coverage. That's a man-to-man coverage situation. And Spence just beat him on the skinny post pattern. It was a good timing pattern and a good execution by Merrimack.
Well-thrown ball by quarterback Christian Carter. Now he directs some traffic at the line of scrimmage, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws a little too high and incomplete. The quick out would have only been good for about a yard, but Johnny Rosario unable to pull that one in. Makes it 2nd down and 10 after the incompleted pass. Carter has one back in the backfield behind him. Receivers split out on each side from the line of scrimmage. Now the running back, Malachi McFadden, steps up next to the quarterback. Carter, straight drop back, looking, rolls right side. He throws deep, and it's going to be caught. And it will be completion at the 22-yard line of Delaware State. Got it up high. The coverage was there, but the receiver jumped up higher.
Nigel Bynum was in on the coverage, and when the receiver worked back, Bynum didn't actually work back to the quarterback as well, so there was a tremendous gap and an opportunity, and Carter took advantage of it. Just good presence of mind by Merrimack on that play.
First down for the Warriors just outside the red zone as they try to extend their 3-point lead. Carter rolling left side, looking into the middle, complete to the Delaware State 13-yard line. It's Anthony Norcia on the catch.
2nd down for the Warriors.
Coming up just short of the first down, about a half a yard. 2nd down. And Carter has his team on the move here on this first drive of the second half.
It's 2nd and 1 at the DSU 13.
Carter looks to the sideline. Comes back from the shotgun. And this count. Fake the handoff, throwing, incomplete, looking for Norcia again. down or inside the 5-yard line. A little bit high for Norcia and also behind him. Tried to turn around, no way to catch that.
This is going to be 2-down area for Merrimack. They might opt to go for it on 4th if they don't make the first down here. So if you're Delaware State, you got to really, buckle up your chin straps because you got 2 big plays that you're probably going to have to play defense on.
And this quarterback throwing some quick passes, completing them. 3rd down and 1. Directing traffic in the backfield. His back went to go to his right side. Carter pulled him back around. And Carter on the keeper. It's going to be close, but I don't know if he has it, Mike.
Defense did a good job of recognizing him on the keeper, and the pursuit was really quick. But it is going to be enough for a first down.
He has it down to the 12-yard line. So it'll be first down from there inside the red zone for Merrimack. And they've come out pretty fired up here in this second half. Moving the ball well. Started at their own 25. Christian Carter standing on the near side hash mark to take the snap out of the shotgun.
It's 1st and 10 at the 12.
Carter looking now. Taking time. Down to 3 seconds on the play clock. And just got it off. Snap was made with 1 second on the clock. And he throws, looking on the right side for Marquise Spence. That was way out of the reach of Marquise Spence. Brings up 2nd down.
Spence runs really good patterns because on his break, he's getting a large amount of space between him and whoever's defending him. So he's a good pattern runner. If you're Delaware State University, any D-back who's covering him, you got to recognize that. And you got to realize, hey, I got to really be on my A game and make sure I'm in position to make a play.
Here we are with 2nd down now from the 12-yard line. Christian Carter has passed his team down the field here in this second half. He'll hand off on 2nd down to Jamari Venter. And Venter goes inside the 10-yard line. Hard running on that Delaware State defense today. Merrimack in the first half was only able to rush for 132 yards on 19 tries in the first half. 3rd down now and 6 yards to go from the 8-yard line. Carter takes the snap, looks right side, throwing, end zone, incomplete. And that's one of the strangest pass breaks-ups you'll want to see. Nigel Bynum down there. He started to fall backward, and it looked like he did one of those scissor kicks from soccer and knocked the ball away.
It's not a technique that they teach here at Delaware State, but we'll take it. Whatever can allow us to prevent somebody from catching the ball, we'll do it.
The stop made on 4th and 6. Merrimack will choose to go for the field goal. It's a 25-yard attempt. Corey Resendez hit a 30-yarder to end the first half. This one is up, and it is good as well. So as we enter the third quarter here, the Merrimack extends the lead with another 3 points, and it is 27-21. We'll take this time out. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons' podcast.
At Alumni Stadium at Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware, Gary Lang and Mike Walker, as Delaware State now down by 6 after that field goal, a 25-yarder from Corey Resendez, his second of the day, and he will kick off to Delaware State. This one taken on the right side and brought up close to the near side hash mark, a little bit of a hole, and then running into traffic there at around the 28-yard line on the return for the Hornets. Jordan Hanna, the kickoff return man. Hornets come out with good field position here to start off 1st and 10.
It's going to be a huge test for the offense right here because they have to answer. They can't have one of these situations where they do not have any points after this possession. It would just really swing the momentum of this game to favor Merrimack, and Delaware State University has to find a way to take that back on the drive right now.
And they'll start it here with Talik Bethea taking the snap in the shotgun, handing it off. They run into the middle, and if they got any yardage, it's not much. Richard Harris, who had such a great game last week at Morgan State, having trouble today finding the traction and getting the yardage. 10 carries in the first half for 35 yards. His first carry of the second half went for no gain.
He did pretty well on that first possession of the game, where he accounted for, I think, about 20-plus yards on the opening drive of the 77. But again, just haven't had a whole bunch of numbers after that.
Here's Bethea on 2nd down and 10. Hands it off. Right side, Harris finds a little bit of a way to get around the outside, cuts it upfield, and gets to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 3 to make it 3rd down and 7. Talik Bethea passing in the first half, completed 3 of 7 for 81 yards. Had a 72-yard touchdown pass, his longest of the season, twice as long as his previous longest. And you can do the math on that one.
Listen, minus that pass, he would just have 9 yards passing, so his passing stats are a little misleading, but, nonetheless, he made the big plays when he needed to.
Bethea on 3rd and 7, wants to throw, has a little bit of time. Brought it down sidearm. It sailed on him a little bit. Kawana Colley, the intended receiver, and over his head. You got to work with him and getting to come over the top. He comes down sidearm, and you see that ball sail.
It's a long throw. It's to the wide side of the field. It's the wide receiver to that side of the field. So even though the ball may only go 5 or 6 yards up the field, it's literally traveling 30 yards across the field. That's a long pass. Timing is key in that, and it looked like the timing was just a little bit late.
Warriors defense did exactly what it wanted to do. Forced Delaware State into a 3 and out. Here's Romo Martinez to punt. Good end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for. It's made at the 31-yard line of Merrimack. Now, they call on the Hornets defense. They need to come up with a stop here and a 3 and out, as Merrimack will start at their 32-yard line.
You got to wonder if fatigue.
We have a break here. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network. Sets things at the line of scrimmage. From the shotgun, takes the snap. Quick out, throws, complete. And Hornets, a bunch of tacklers get around Anthony Norcia and take him down after a gain on the play of, let's see, about 8 yards to make it 3rd down and 5, a long 5, short 6.
It's 3rd and 6 at the 36.
They're down in long yardage here as Carter throws complete across the middle, and they're going to have to look at where this ball gets spotted. Looks like he may. I thought he was short of the 1st down mark when he caught the ball.
That's a pretty bad spot.
The officials ruling that he got to the 42-yard line. Merrimack wants to come quickly to the line of scrimmage before anybody can take a second thought about it. They got the 1st down to the 42-yard line. Carter drops back, rolls, right side, hit as he throws, and the ball is well incomplete. Good pass rush from the left side on that play, and that was Brooks Parker, who was shaken up on the last series. The trainers made sure he was okay. The problem seemed to be in his right leg, maybe the ankle or the knee, but he was ready on that play.
Huge play. The ball was kind of underthrown, and there were no D-backs for Delaware State to make a play on the ball. The only person close to it was Peeler, and he was just focused on solely covering the man who he was supposed to cover.
As he well should be. 2nd and 10. Long count here for Carter. Got it off. The quick pitch out just before he gets hit. Sends it out to Matt Brehan. Brehan hit at the 45-yard line, spins away and gets down to the 48-yard line before he's brought down by the Hornets defense.
Devin Smith on the initial contact with Delaware State University. Could have maybe stopped him for about a 3-yard gain, but he just kind of ran through that tackle and picked up an additional 3 yards after initial contact.
3rd down and 4 here now as Carter gets to the line of scrimmage or sets up in the shotgun. The snap, the handoff, they'll try left side, and the Hornets stop them. A loss of yardage on the play. They lost a yard, and they stacked it up. The running back fell down as he tried to make his cut. It's 4th down, and Merrimack will have to punt to Delaware State. Hornets will send Charles Peeler back to take this punt. See if he can get a good return out of this. He's standing between his 10 and 15-yard lines. And Resendez, who's had some pretty good punts here today, gets away a good one here. It will hit short of the return man and then roll toward the Delaware State end zone. And it's going to be down at the 8. So the hole has been dug, and the Hornets will have to try to crawl out of that Hornet here when we return. But we have a timeout. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Simmons Podcast.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons' podcast.
Hornets set up at their own 9-yard line here with a 1st down and 10. They have to go 91 yards to get a score. And it starts right here on this play. In a pass, it is going to be ruled complete. And it's Kawana Colley stretching it out and making the catch out at the 28-yard line.
Just a nice pass by Tyleek Bethea and even better aggression to the ball by Kawana Colley. You just got to get the ball up and allow your playmakers to make plays.
How badly did he want to make that one?
Yeah, you can tell, man, just by the his holding on to the ball, his fighting. He's got the defender on his back. That's what they need out here right now, the guys.
Definitely a spark to move from the 9 to the 28 on that 19-yard pass play. Fake the draw play. Throwing. Little out pattern and complete again for Delaware State. And a late flag in the backfield. We might have roughing the passer. Kawana Colley with his 2nd catch in 2 consecutive tries. But let's see what it's going to be. Ouch. From what I saw in the backfield, I thought there was a possibility that it could be roughing the passer, but it'll be holding against Delaware State. So that will move the ball back to the 18-yard line. 10-yard penalty.
2 steps forward, 10 yards back.
Yeah. 1st and 20, rather. As they retain the down. And that was a good 9-yard completion that got wiped out. They'll run the ball. And there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Up to the 19-yard line, maybe. If they want to be charitable and give him a yard on the carry. Nope, they'll say back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 20.
The big bodies up front, not dominating the line of scrimmage like they were earlier in the game. Right now, they seem to be battling to stalemates. As soon as you see an offensive lineman standing straight up, that means he's pretty much lost his leverage. You got to keep that pad level extremely low, and you got to drive these defensive players like you drive the sled. Get your hips low.
Snap count. Bethea throwing left side. Oh, in and out of the hands of Jordan Hanna, who had to pull up, and the ball hit him in the arms. He was not able to hold on as it bounced away.
Again, just didn't have his body position, to make that catch, and it would have been a difficult catch. But again, at this level, you look for guys to make those type of plays. This is Division I football. And you can see they're being made on the other side of the ball.
3rd down and 20 now as the Hornets trying to scramble out of the hole here. Tyreek Bethea had a couple of good passes. Penalty took away one. Drop ball took away the second. Now he just throws the short pass, trying to get some positive yardage and not be caught for a loss. Trey Gross getting into the game on that catch. He managed to make it out to the 23-yard line. Brings up 4th down and 15, and the Hornets will punt.
Hornets going to have to rely on the defense again, to essentially just put up a good effort and get another stop so they can get that offense back on the field.
Time not exactly working against Delaware State yet. And Romo Martinez punts it away. It will hit and get a little bit of a Delaware State roll to the 37-yard line. And that's where Merrimack will have it to put it in play. Call on the defense again here to make a stop. A very important juncture in the game for Delaware State. If Merrimack puts up points on this one, especially if they score a touchdown, it could be a long rest of the game for the Hornets.
It's 1st and 10. All on the Warriors.
See what Christian Carter is able to do here from the 37-yard line with a 1st down. Carter, long count. Taking the snap. And he decided, looked like that was a quarterback draw. He called his own number there and may have, at the end of the play, thought that wasn't a good idea. Hornets were in the backfield, a 4-yard loss on the play. He got smacked down.
Brooks and Lozano both in on that tackle, both linebackers meeting at the quarterback. Just great defense by Delaware State.
2nd and 14 on that play. It's Christian Carter, again with the long snap count. Uses a lot of time back there looking to the sideline and calling the play at the line. Carter, hands off on 2nd down, right side. They try to sweep over there with Malachi McFadden, and he is taken down right about at the line of scrimmage. Good lateral pursuit by the defense.
Great open field tackle by Jihad Niebauer, the leader of the defensive backs, doing a good job of just coming up, recognizing the play, and tackling, again, what appears to be for a short loss.
3rd down and 14. Managed to get back just to the line of scrimmage. And Merrimack wants to call a time. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We've come to the end of the 3rd period. Went kind of quickly there. And Merrimack retains that 6-point lead that they came into the second half with. Merrimack 27, Delaware State 21. Quarter action in just a moment. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
It should take 17 minutes.
Play the Bill Simmons podcast.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons' podcast.
Ready to put the ball in play.
D-backs just got to keep everything in front of them, and that defensive line, they got to get a push. Somebody's got to get to the quarterback and get him moving around in that pocket.
Christian Carter faced with a 3rd down and very long situation. With a long snap count and movement on the offensive line. One of the wide receivers moved early. The Hornets immediately jumped and showed who it was. And that will make it 3rd and 19 for Merrimack. That should change the play that was called.
I tell you, there's not a whole lot of 3rd and 19-yard plays in anybody's playbook. So, I'm assuming that they're going to do what anybody would do in this situation: either go for a home run or get the ball in somebody's hands as quickly as possible and allow them to make a play.
3rd down, 19. Carter hit as he throws the ball, made his arm stop short, and the ball came up short as well. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down. Wasn't able to get the follow through. He got his arm halfway through the motion when he was hit.
Looked like Carswell might have been in on that hit that altered the trajectory of the ball. But nonetheless, Delaware State University has an opportunity to get the ball back, Gary, and with a good return, might have pretty decent field position.
Well, right now, Charles Peeler is standing at his own 32-yard line to return the punt. If he can get a few yards on the return here, they could end up with good field position to start the possession. And this one goes away from Peeler. It'll bounce, and he'll let it go, faking that he was going to try to field the ball with a Merrimack player right in front of him. It's rolled dead at the 31-yard line, so no return on the punt. And that's pretty much probably what punter Corey Resendez was hoping for. He didn't want to get it right to the return man and have any kind of a return. We do have a penalty marker on the play, and we'll see what Eric Green says about it. All right, so the yardage will be stepped off after the play, so that'll move the ball to the Delaware State 41-yard line. That helped for the Hornets. But it was on Delaware State. Puts it back to the 21. That doesn't help the Hornets. My bad there. I thought he said it was on the kicking team. Delaware State 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. They have to go 79 yards to put points on the board here. Tyleek Bethea hands off on first down, and there's a good hole. Cutting out to the right side, Richard Harris needed a block out there. Couldn't get it, and just managed to get out to the 38-yard line, and a good open field tackle to stop him. But he was on a roll.
He had a head of steam, but again, Gary breaks that line of scrimmage with conviction and picks up huge yards and just tries to build some momentum for Delaware State University.
Well, he got 17 yards on the carry out to the 38, first down Hornets. Bethea with the snap, looking. He'll run it to the right side, try to turn upfield, can't find any place to go. He'll be pulled down and lose yardage on the play. It was Corey Hagerman, the defensive lineman, out there. And we have penalty markers downfield. We'll see who this one is on. Trying to see who may be called for the penalty. It was down in the area of a receiver and a defender.
That's an offensive lineman way down there. I think that's Caden Crawford they're going to hit with something.
Get him for being downfield, yeah. Waiting for them to sort it out and let us know. They got Caden Crawford for holding. The line of scrimmage previously was the 38, and they set the ball on the 36. They're going to, well, they originally said declined, but that had to be changed because, yeah, they're going to take the penalty. 10-yard penalty to make it first down and 20. You wondered why they declined the penalty, and indeed they didn't. From the Delaware State 28-yard line, Tyleek Bethea has time, throws downfield, man open, and just broken up at the last moment. Corin Aline was the intended receiver, and the defender just managed to get a hand up on it. Bryce Smith breaking up the pass.
Looked like there might have been some contact on that play. Yeah, looked like he might have grabbed him from the behind, but, look, this game can't be won or lost by officials. It has to be won by players. And, while Del State may not have gotten that call, they still got to make these plays, Gary.
Pardon me, second down and 20. Bethea again with time. Throwing. Marker down. Incomplete.
Bethea's pass is incomplete. Penalty
diving Jordan Hanna, the ball thrown too low. And this could be another one against Delaware State, the marker in the area where you usually have holding.
Again, that's just one of those long passes to the sideline, Gary. It's literally about a 30-yard pass if it were going upfield, but it's only 5 yards when it's out in the flat.
Let's see what the call is here and what the decision is. Caden Crawford called for holding. They'll decline that penalty, and that will bring up 3rd down and 20. They didn't go for the yardage and let Delaware State have the down. They declined the penalty because the play got nothing. It was an incomplete pass and the loss of down for the Hornets. They've been giving Bethea a bit of time to throw, but other things have gone wrong on the play. Now Bethea from the shotgun looks, has time. Now he has to scramble just a little bit. Throws a quick screen pass to Richard Harris, and it squirts right through his hands. He had some green in front of him, too. All he had to do was pull it in. And Richard Harris failed to catch that pass. It's 4th down, and the Hornets will punt.
I'm not necessarily sure he could have picked up the first down, Gary, but, you're right. He did have a little bit of a field ahead of him. And, again, Delaware State just struggling to make the easy plays. That's basic pitch and catch right there.
That'll show up as an incompletion for Tyleek Bethea, but it should show up somehow for the receiver on the incomplete. And Romo Martinez punt is a good one. They're going to mark it out of bounds on the far side of the field and say it touched or went out of bounds at the 28-yard line of Merrimack. We'll take a timeout right now as well. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, listening to HSI. Good day for Christian Carter, the quarterback of the Merrimack Warriors, as he has gotten the job done here against Delaware State, against a defense that started out pretty rugged. They're giving him some pressure there, and that ball thrown behind the intended receiver, Johnny Rosario. Incomplete.
DeAndre blew Eli on the coverage. That was a good pattern, and the ball was a little bit behind. I thought Eli could have made a play because the ball was behind, and he was behind the receiver, but, again, he was focused really on the coverage and not making a play on the ball.
2nd down and 10. From the 28 for Merrimack. Carter likes to use up a lot of time before he makes the snap count. They get to the line of scrimmage early. He looks to the sideline and gets the play and then calls everything from there. Down to 2 seconds and gets the snap. There's the quick out, complete. And the receiver jumps over his tackler, got over top of Charles Peeler, and it was Johnny Rosario with the acrobatic run. 3rd down and 3 now for Merrimack.
He jumped over Peel and was instantly tackled. So he might have picked up maybe an additional 1 yard on the play. Who knows, had he kept his feet and just lowered his shoulder, he probably could have picked up 3 or 4 yards.
Chances are. Yeah. On 3rd down. Carter takes the snap, pressure there, and completes it over the middle. 1st down for Merrimack as the play went to Marquise Spence, who was tackled and then got up and ran toward the end zone as if nobody had knocked him down. He was tackled and rolled around. It's a 1st down for Merrimack at their 45-yard line.
Spence lining up in the slot position, just running a shallow cross, being guarded by Joanne Granger.
Here comes Merrimack again after getting the 1st down. Throwing the ball here mostly in the second half. Quarterback Carter keeps, runs, has a 1st down, dropped the football. And let's see who has it.
Christian Carter on
It was the ground didn't cause the fumble. Now we've got people pushing, and if you had a yellow flag, you probably tossed it just then. That was a clean fumble by the quarterback. He wasn't even hit. He spun when he got hit, and he kind of lost the ball as he was going to the ground. Let's see who gets the ball here. It looked like Carter managed to recover his own fumble. The Hornets dove in to try to take it away. And I believe they're going to rule that Merrimack has the football. Now we have those yellow flags with which to contend.
Could be offsetting penalties because it appeared as if there was a Merrimack player who had kind of pulled a Del State player off the pack, and then Del State responded to him doing that. The officials were right there when it happened, and they allowed the Merrimack player to just essentially push the Del State player off without doing anything. And when Del State responded, all the flags started going off.
Right. Let's see what they're going to come up with, though, here.
But the officials were right on top of the play, so they didn't miss it. They just chose to call what they chose to call.
Of course, you know the old adage is when something like that occurs, it's usually the player who retaliates who is seen.
Yeah, but this particular play, the officials were actually standing right there, so they were witness to the entire crime and not the response to it.
All right. We'll see what referee Eric Green is going to tell us in just a moment here. Going to make sure they have it all correct. And we're still waiting to find out what is the correct call. What is the penalty, or what are the penalties? Here's the referee. Okay. They have been officially warned. You got an unsportsmanlike conduct call. You got a second one. You'll be watching from outside the stadium. And it's first down. They replay first down from the 43 of Delaware State. No, that was a run for first down by the quarterback, Christian Carter. Carter hands off on first down. Gives it to Jamari Venter. And he fumbles. Delaware State has it. Not many turnovers this season for Delaware State. They've only intercepted 3 passes. Hold on.
Yep.
And they're not going to give the fumble recovery to Delaware State. They only have about 4 or 5 turnovers this season.
And here's the replay. I don't know if the forward progress was stopped when that ball started to come out.
And for Delaware State, Devin Smith, the defensive back, is shaken up on the play. We have a timeout. We'll take it. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3, and you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Hey Google, how long is my commute?
It should take 17 minutes.
Play the Bill Simmons podcast.
Sure, playing the latest episode of Bill Simmons podcast.
The ruling before the break was that the player was down when he fumbled. It's Merrimack ball, second down and 10 at the Delaware State 43-yard line. And Hornets pointing, movement on the offensive line. That will make it second down and 15. That's Sam Cooper that they called for the penalty, the left guard. So it moves the ball back to the 48-yard line of Delaware State. Just under 11 minutes left to play here in Dover. Carter, deep drop, throws. It will be complete, and it will pick up 4 yards on the play. Get it out to Marquise Spence.
There's another penalty flag on the play, Gary.
And it is behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll see about this one, but one might suspect holding. Let's see what the call is. Again, we'll hear from referee Eric Green. It's a 15-yard penalty against Delaware State. It will give Merrimack a first down. The hands to the face penalty against the Hornets. Make the line of scrimmage Delaware State's 29-yard line. And Christian Carter brings the Warriors up to the line of scrimmage. Looks to his sideline to check out the play. Now tells his center the snap count. Gets the snap. Throw complete. It's Chauncey Kogel making the catch, and a little bit of contact after the catch as he tried to pick up yardage.
His progress was stopped initially when he caught the ball, but the officials on that particular play allowed the play to continue to go on.
And he got extra yardage as a result.
So,
and it's a 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3. Carter. Lone back in the backfield with the quarterback Carter. And that is Malachi McFadden in the backfield. Now he moves from behind Carter to his left side. He gets the handoff, tries to run around the right side. They string him out, and he's taken out of bounds around the Hornets' 25-yard line. That's a loss of yardage on the play, about 3-yard loss. Hornets defense just would not let him make the turn and go upfield with it.
The tackle kind of started initially on the field but ended up off the field, and I thought that Del State was getting ready to get hit with a penalty on that one.
Well, either the late contact or the horse collar could have been called. It kind of looked like that on the tackle that he got his hand inside the jersey from behind up around the neck. 3rd down and 6. Carter, pressure, gonna scramble, runs to the left, gets hit by 3 Hornets simultaneously as he gets to the 22-yard line. And that brings up now 4th down and 3.
Definitely got to send the field goal team out. It would be foolish for them to go for this and miss it, because they'd give Delaware State an opportunity to take the lead with a touchdown.
Right. Corey Resendez has a 30-yard field goal, a 25-yard field goal, and now will be trying a 29-yard field goal. From the far side hash mark. Gets it. It's good, and it's a 9-point lead now for Merrimack as they take it to 30-21 over Delaware State with 8 minutes and 19 seconds left to play. And the Hornets not showing really any kind of offensive spark here in the second half. There's a timeout on the field. You're watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3. And you're listening to HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
And it starts, Gary, with a huge play on special teams. Hopefully they'll get a chance to return the ball. And if you're Del State, once you see a kicker has shown that he has the leg to place it in the end zone, you really want to back your receivers up to the end zone so they can catch that ball running forward as opposed to backing up to catch it, then having to run.
Well, Charles Peeler is that's not Charles Peeler there. That's
Hannah.
Jordan Hanna standing at about his 4 or 5 yard line. It's Hanna or it's Aline.
Both of them are back there.
Yeah. And it's going to be Hanna from the 2. Brings it right upside the far side hash mark, puts his head down, crashes through a couple of tacklers, and will bring it out to the 24-yard line. Hornets have to go 76 yards, and they need to do it quickly because they're down by 2 possessions.
So that means they're going to have to put the ball in the air. And, they should really focus that pass game towards the hashes, Gary, the shallow crosses, and all their plays should really be working in towards the hashes, because the plays that work towards the sidelines only increase the amount of time that the ball is in the air. It becomes a longer throw. So you want to get that ball into your playmaker's hands as quickly as possible in this situation.
Tyleik Bethea has a touchdown pass on the day, a 72-yarder. Let's see what he does here on first down. Throws the short pass, completes it to Jordan Hanna on the far side of the field. He's hit after a gain close to the first down, but he's going to come up just a little bit short. Got to the 31-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 3. But you can pick your way down the field with that kind of stuff. Carter did it. And they go long, downfield, just out of the reach of Corin Aline, who had the 72-yard touchdown catch earlier. That one he had to dive for and couldn't get it. Though we do now know the arm strength of Tyleik Bethea.
And, Bethea, you can't ever be critical of a decision that a guy makes. He's trying to make something happen, but he also has to recognize that we need to pick up first downs. And they're giving him an opportunity to pick up first downs running the ball.
3rd down and 3. Back in the backfield next to Bethea. He throws into the middle. It is incomplete. Crossing across, the wide receiver, Kevin Meddy. First time all season we have mentioned that name. There was good coverage on Meddy. He was unable to pull it in. 3 and out, 4th down. Now we have seen Fidel Romo Martinez run for a first down this season in a game where the defense wasn't paying much attention to him. He saw that they had dropped back in coverage and ran for a 20-yard first down. So that is in the playbook for Delaware State.
Oh, he ran offside.
And we have penalty markers. One of the Hornets anxious to get downfield on coverage. And that was Corin Aline. And as everybody else was in position, he was already running downfield. Offside, 5-yard penalty. Moved the ball back to the 26.
At the 26.
See if that makes any difference in field position. Romo Martinez, good punt. Fair catch made at the 27, 28-yard line by Merrimack. Hornets have only had 4 or 5 takeaways this season, 3 interceptions, just a couple of fumble recoveries. If they're going to do anything, they need to do a takeaway now.
Yeah, and that's something that, is in the individual player, somebody who just makes something happen on their own, be it getting to the quarterback and separating him from the ball or, coming up with a big interception. That's just, it's nothing that the coaches can script. It's just the individual play of those players on defense.
Christian Carter has shown everybody why he may be one of the better quarterbacks in the Northeast Conference with his play here today, as Merrimack makes the move from Division II into D1 and that conference. We had whistles and a stoppage before the play got off. Let's see what it is. The microphone breaking up. We're not sure what the call was. They didn't move the ball, so there was no penalty called. 1st and 10 at the 28 for Merrimack, their own 28-yard line. And this sophomore quarterback, Christian Carter, hands it off on first down, and a huge hole through the middle. First down out to the Delaware State 40-yard line. The quick opener, and Jamari Venter took advantage of it.
It's 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
And now Merrimack is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. With a first down at the 40-yard line. Taking a lot of time there in the backfield before the snap, and Merrimack wants to use up as much clock as they can. They'll run right side, keeping it on the ground now. Got about a yard or so on the carry. Venter again.
Christian Johnson doing a good job of sliding on that line of scrimmage at his defensive end position and wrapping him up for a short gain. So, again, the clock is moving, but Delaware State has to just keep this offense in front of him. They can't allow him to pick up the first down right now.
2nd down and 9. Ball now on the near side hash mark. Carter looks things over. Communicates with the offensive line. Steps back and takes the snap. High snap, pulls it down, decides to run with it. And he'll get 2 yards out to the 43-yard line before he is gang tackled by Delaware State. Well, actually, he kept pushing forward. He got himself up to the 45-yard line, maybe even to the 46. He should have been stopped with a 2-yard gain. He got more after that. They're going to say he got to the 46.
Again, the officials on the initial contact not concerned with whether or not his momentum was stopped. They just allowed the play to continue.
3rd and 4. Carter looking to the sideline. Now calls the signal at the line of scrimmage. 4 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap. Handoff. Right side. It's going to be short on 3rd down. They tried to get to the first down marker with Matt Brehan. And it looks like it's going to be 4th and 1 at the 49-yard line. With 5:28 left in the game, do you go for it?
Looks like they're bringing their punter out. So, they got a 9-point lead, Gary. They love nothing more than to get Del State back on offense. I don't think they're intimidated by Delaware State University's offense. So they want to get them back on the field and just see if they can get another 3 and out and put their offense back out on the field.
Peeler back at the 8-yard line. And they've been kicking away from him. They'll kick it toward the sideline this time. It'll bounce. Peeler thought about grabbing a hold of it. Good thing he didn't. But it's going to be downed at the between the 3 and 4 yard line. He thought about reaching down and grabbing the bouncing ball, but it was bouncing away from him, and there were 2 tacklers right there, and you could almost see a fumble about to occur.
The ball must have shifted in the air on the punt because Peeler couldn't pick it up, the trajectory of the ball, when it came off the punter's foot, because it took a funny bounce, and he was way out of position, so he never had an opportunity to even make a play as far as a punt return is concerned.
All natural gourmet chips, no MSG or gluten. That's Symphony Chips. Order yours today online at symphonychips.com. Hornets from the end zone, running it into the middle. Line of scrimmage, actually the 3-yard line. And they took it straight into the middle on the carry. Bryant Dallas on the carry. Got 3, 2nd and 7. And it's Bethea taking the snap and giving it to
looks like Bryant Dallas again.
Yeah. And Dallas gets the first down for Delaware State, bringing it out to the 17-yard line. Delaware State trying to keep things moving here now. See if they can pick up another first down, but time working against them. They need to move the ball quickly. We're inside of 4 minutes left in the game. Bethea throwing, man wide open, complete at the 28-yard line. And it's Corinne Aline who's grabbed and thrown out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
Move the chains. 1st and 10. Hornets.
Had to hit Aline on that one. He was so wide open.
They're in a prevent defense right now. Linebackers are loose. Everybody's loose right now.
Bethea rolls right side. Nobody open. Runs the ball. Slides. Took a hit after the slide, but no flag. Got 4 yards. 2nd down and 6. Coach Rod Milstead's asking the officials, why no call? Why no call? He goes into the slide. You're not supposed to hit him. But they on second down. Looks left side, screen pass, complete. Bryant Dallas hit in the backfield and lost 3 yards on the play. Well, it looked like a screen play. The problem was there was no screen, no blocking down there, and the defensive backs came up and made the play.
It's 3rd and 9 at the 35.
3rd down and 9. Bethea. Some pressure coming. Steps up. Throws. Left side. Complete to Colley. Catch. Yards after the catch. First down Hornets as he goes to the 44-yard line of Merrimack. Kawana Colley with a big play.
Nice throw by Tyleek Bethea. You saw Kawana Colley hugging that sideline. Stepped up in the pocket. Looked like he was going to run and just threw the ball at the last second.
Veteran receiver came back to help his quarterback. Bethea into the middle, complete to the 39-yard line. 5-yard pickup quickly on the play as they got it to Jordan Hanna. Using the middle, eating up short yardage passes. And hold on, we have a whistle now and a timeout called by Merrimack. Hornets were running some very quick sets of plays there, and Merrimack wanted to slow it down to maybe even an adjustment of some of the personnel on the field there. The DSU postgame show brought to you by American Spirit Federal Credit Union in Dover. They're in Newark and Middletown, Delaware also. That coming up after this game. Hornet fans, don't just sit on the sideline. Become a 12th man. Support DSU. Want to find out information about it? Call 302-492-1132 for more information. It's a great program. Become part of that 12th man program for Delaware State. Here we are, 2nd down and 5 after the short timeout. Delaware State at the Merrimack 39-yard line. Bethea with time, plenty of it. Throwing complete to Kawana Colley. He's inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. First down, Delaware State. They're moving the ball here. Down to 1 minute and 35 left on the clock. Bethea looks. He'll be hit in the backfield and taken down. That's going to be a big sack. Going to mark the line of scrimmage somewhere around the 31, 32-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7. And now the Hornets want a timeout. Down to 1:16 left to play.
Delaware State literally got to get into the end zone in the next couple of plays, Gary, and then set up for the onside kick and hope to recover it. That's the only way they're going to be able to even get a shot at winning this game, because it's now a 2-possession game with that third field goal in the second half.
And the onside kick is probably the lowest percentage play in football.
Next to the Hail Mary. I don't know which one is worse.
Well, yeah. I think I've seen more Hail Mary passes completed than onside kicks successfully done.
2nd and 17 at the Warriors' 32-yard line.
So we're ready to come back to action here with a 2nd down and 17 at the Merrimack 32-yard line from the shotgun. Blitz coming left side. They got Bethea. Fumbled the ball. Picked up by Merrimack to the 40-yard line. The 30 and out of bounds at the Delaware State 25-yard line. Fumble recovery by Enrique McFarland.
With the fumble recovery. First down Warriors.
A lot of contact on Tyleek Bethea. Knocked the ball loose.
And Merrimack, they're going to a pregame celebration because they know that they pulled off a huge victory here at Alumni Stadium against an established Division I program. As they come up into Division I ranks, this is going to be a huge victory for their program.
And it will move Merrimack to 3-4 on the season. And really the first 2 wins, okay, Virginia Lynchburg and Mayville State. Now you've got one against a D1 school. And this is a program that, watch out, Northeast Conference. So Merrimack now with a minute and 6 left on the clock. They're going into the victory formation. They're not going to try to put up more points. Quarterback Christian Carter takes the snap, steps back, kneels down. I think they consider themselves lucky and fortunate and played a good game to come out of here with a victory today against Delaware State. So why take a chance on doing anything else except take the win? It's a 9-point win. The difference in the game, all field goals by Corey Resendes.
You know, it's a 4-quarter team over there. Merrimack, they recognize in order to beat Delaware State University, they had to play 4 quarters worth of football, and that's exactly what they did today.
Yep. And the Hornets drop another one to go to 1-6 on the season. I almost didn't want to say it. 1-6 on the season. A 30-21 win for the Merrimack Warriors here today at Delaware State University as they make their move into Division I football and come up with maybe the biggest win of that transition for them. And we're going to transition away as well here as our television audience leaves us. You've been watching the MEAC Digital Network on ESPN3. Continue along on our radio side.